Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to learn about Introduction to Human Geography as well as the major themes which are there in the human geography. So, in the previous semesters, you may have learned the physical geography which deals with the physical environment. Now, you can look at the beautiful picture on the screen that you can see the small settlement over there, small road network is there, some trees are there. What are these all things? This is the social cultural environment which is being created by the humans, isn't it? So, human geography is the geography which is being created by the human, which we are going to deal today. So, as mother of science, the geography, so today we are going to discuss about these all topics: nature, scope, fields and subfields, contemporary relevance and the fundamental concepts of the human geography, man and environment and the components of the environment, types of the environment, human interference with the environment as well as the impact of man on environment. Let us go quickly one by one. If coming to the part of introduction, so we can see that as the geography is the mother of all the sciences, geography mainly divided into two main branches. First one is physical geography and the second one is human geography, wherein physical geography deals more with the physical environment, wherein human geography deals with the nature and the types and the impact of human activities on the physical environment. So, here there are two things are there. This relationship, that is a man and the human or the human and the environment relationship, is very complex in nature. Why I am saying it is complex? Because every time earth is altering continuously, but still though it is altering, the humans are adopting this and changing environment, and this can be clearly depicted or clearly explained by the human geography. That's how the importance of the human geography. Now we can define the human geography like this, that it is focused on the spatial organization as well as the differentiation of the human activities and its relationship with its surroundings. So, this geography definition or the human geography definition has been given by the scholars differently. So, one of the geographer or one of the scholar has given like this. This is the human geography is the study of the relationship between human societies as well as the earth surface, and the another geographer who is Ellen Churchill Simple has given the definition like this: the changing relationship between the unresting man and unstable earth. Why here the term dynamism, that means changing or relationship between the unresting man as well as the unstable earth. So, that means dynamism has been emphasized in this relation. So, thus spatial study, the human geography can be defined as the spatial study of human and the human activities in relation to the physical environment. So, now look at the nature of the human geography. If coming to the part of nature of the human geography, as I said in the first slide, that human geography is interrelationship between the physical environment as well as the socio-cultural environment. What do you mean by physical environment now? So, whatever the natural things are existing on the earth surface like land and the water, these all are a different type of flora, different type of fauna, whatever naturally existing on the surface, that will come under the physical environment, wherein socio-cultural environment is defined like this. So, this is the environment which is created by the humans by utilizing natural resources which are existing on the physical environment. Then what is that socio-cultural environment which is created by the human beings? That is nothing but the industries. There may be a road network, there may be rail network, which has been shown in your first slide, isn't it? So, this all will come under the socio-cultural environment which is created by the human beings by using the natural resources on the physical environment. That's how the interrelationship between the physical environment as well as the socio-cultural environment can be studied in the nature of the human geography. That means human geography focuses on the spatial analysis and the ecological analysis as well as the regional synthesis. So that's how the importance of the nature of the human geography. If you go into the details of the nature of the human geography, it will focuses on the social, cultural, economic and political landscape in the context of the changing human behavior, because whenever the human behavior changes, these all factors will change, and the study of these all factors will be done in the human geography. As we have completed introduction part and the nature of the human geography, in the nature of human geography there are two important things which we are going to discuss today. Two things are there, that is naturalization of the humans and the humanization of the nature. It is very beautiful concept, the naturalization of the humans. The word itself has the meaning that the humans in this concept, they are more or closely related with the nature. See, when I am changing that, every time unresting or altering the nature or the environment without human intervention. So without human intervention, when the environment is changing and human is trying to adopt that changed environment naturally. So that's how the nature or the humans are closely related with the nature, that is to be known as the naturalization of the humans. For example, there is no harm in the food chain supply, there is no harm to the environment. So that's how the humans have adapted to the changed environment. They are more closely related with the nature. That's how it is called as the naturalization of the humans. Then the next component is that humanization of the nature, which is another side of the nature of the human geography, which is quietly opposite to the previous one. The word itself has the meaning that humanization of the nature. As the passage of time, over a period of time, as the human civilization has been expanded, okay, as the human civilization has been expanded, the needs of the human beings have been increased. So human beings have shifted from state of need to or state of freedom, isn't it? State of need to state of freedom. Now the what are the problem, when the human civilization has been expanded, population is increased. When the population is increasing, the needs of the people are increasing and the wants of the people are increasing. To fulfill their needs and the wants, what they have done, they have altered the existing environment. So they have the, with the help of the efficient technology and the more efficient technology, and they have developed the socially and cultural environment with the help of the efficient technology. So that's how they have created the possibilities. That means they have created the possibility to cope with the changing natural physical environment. They have fulfilled their wants. See, as we know that nature will provide the, nature is sufficient to meet the needs of the people, not the wants of the people. If the wants are more, when the population is increasing, definitely there will be the more challenges will be facing. To overcome those challenges, to fulfill those wants with the help of sufficient technology or the efficient technology, they have done the more number of possibilities to cope up with the changing physical environments. So that's how the process of altering the natural state of environment and its components for optimal usage by the humans is known as the humanization of the nature. These are two beautiful concepts, that naturalization of the humans and the humanization of nature, which are dealt with the nature of the human geography. Then coming to the part of scope of the human geography, every subject has its own importance. In the same way, human geography is also having, and the scope, if you look at the scope, human geography has evolved over time with shifts in perspective, enriching its subject matter as well as the nature. So human geography is having n number of subfields. If you look at the diagram, you can easily understand that we having the subfields like the political geography, economic geography, medical geography, behavioral geography, population geography and social cultural geography. So each this subfield will deal with the some sort of aspect in the human geography or the physical environment. So what is that relevance? Now you can see the table. So every field is having, social geography is having another n number of subfields like the behavioral geography, geography of social well-being, geography of leisure, cultural geography and all. So thus we are having main 5 to 6 fields in the human geography. Again these fields have been divided into subfields to get more idea on the human geography. If then what is the relevance of the human geography study? Because you are the geography student, there should be some relevance to study any subject, isn't it? So there is relevance of the human geography, my dear. So let us discuss the relevance of the human geography now. As the human is the biocultural resource amongst all the resources which has the ability to exploit and every resources by optimizing and utilizing them. So let us discuss what is the relevance actually. So human geography will study the location of the people. If you go through the population geography, what will happen in the population geography? We go through with the location of the people and the activities on the earth surface and the factors which are influencing these patterns such as density and as a population contribution, distribution, these all things will come under the population geography. So that means population dynamics we will learn in the population geography, which is a subfield of the human geography. That's how the human human geography is very relevant in day-to-day activities. And it also implement the resource distribution. It also, when we are learning the resource distribution, it helpful in the policy making. That's how the relevance of the human geography. Now you can understand that when we are dealing with the population, when the population is increasing, we have to accommodate the existing population and the constant physical environment. What we will do? There are n number of challenges we are facing. To overcome those challenges or to to find out the solution to what are the challenges like food security, unemployment, poverty reduction and economic growth. These all will challenges we will facing. So to face this all the challenges or to solve this all the challenges which has been faced by the increased population, to accommodate the increased population on existing physical environment, we will integrate the quantitative as well as the qualitative methods to address these challenges. So these quantitative and the qualitative methods will learn in the human geography. That's how the relevance of the human geography is, isn't it? So if you look at political geography, it is very interesting topic, subfield of the human geography, that political geography focuses on the geopolitical arrangement as well as it explores the factors which are behind the global politics unrest, isn't it? It is very, very beautiful concept which you are going to learn in your human geography. That's how the relevance of the human geography in day-to-day life. Not even as the geography itself is the interdisciplinary, human geography is also interdisciplinary approach combining social, physical sciences, which is vital to study the physical environment of the earth surface. So this is how the relevance of the human geography is. Let us discuss about the fundamental concepts of the human geography. When I am saying that the human geography is nothing but it studies the interrelationship between, in one word I can say that human geography studies the interrelationship between man as well as the human. And how can be done this interrelationship, or how can we study this interrelationship between man and environment? With the help of fundamental concepts which are existed in the human geography. What are those fundamental concepts then? We are having three fundamental concepts like scale, time and the space. So first two, that is scale and time, both are quantitative nature, wherein space fundamental concept is the both qualitative as well as the quantitative in nature. So let us discuss one by one very quickly, isn't it? So let us go for the scale. What do you mean by scale? In the geography, scale is the scalar representation which is the quantitative data, and it is represented in the human geography three types. First one is cartography scale, second one is spatial spatial scale, third one is the phenomenal scale. So what do you mean by cartography scale? The three types of scales are used in human geography to depict the size of the data, So first one is the cartography scale. What do you mean by cartography scale? So when if you want to show the scale is nothing but it can be defined as the ratio between the map distance as well as the ground distance, and it can be represented within two forms. One is graphical and one is a representative fraction. So let me tell you, for example, if I show the RF fraction, that is representative fraction, the scale 1 is to 10,000. That means 1 and 10,000 should be with the same units. If I considering that 1 centimeter distance on the map which is equal to the 10,000 centimeters on the ground, then another scale is that statement scale. Just we will mention that okay, 1 inch is equal to 1 mile on the ground. So that's how the scale will be represented in the human geography. Then coming to the part of spatial scale. What do you mean by spatial scale? This is the verbal representation of the regions relative to defined boundary with no reference, but it will define boundary will be there, like a state boundary, like the district boundary, or the a village boundary. For that matter, it can be represented the global level, local level, regional level. It might be anything. To represent that type of boundary, we will use thus the spatial scale. That means it represents the space, whether it is district boundary, whether it is country boundary, whether it is a state boundary, whether it is a village boundary with no specific reference. We will use this spatial scale. Then the third phenomena is the phenomenal scale, which is very beautiful. It will represent the what size of an area for any geographical event, any geographical phenomena. We will come to know that at what level it has been occurred, at what level that event has been taken place, whether the level is small level, whether the medium level or the large scale level. So that phenomena if you want to show, then in that cases we will use the phenomenal scale. So that might be anything, that micro level, meso level and the macro level, or else we can also use it at the local level, regional level and the global level. At what level the geographical phenomena has taken place, or else geographical event has been taken place, to represent that, then we will use the spatial scale. So that's how the scale will play an important role in the to analyze the data which is obtained in the human geography. The next is the concept of time. This is a unidirectional vector quantity within which all the geographical phenomena will take place. So it is essential to know what happened and when and how long did it take to happen. In the time scale, if you want to represent in the human geography, what do you represent? It has taken place in the ancient period or the medieval period or the classic period, isn't it? If you want to show any time period, what do you show? This is the terminology which we are going to use in your human geography. Whether fast, how it has happened, whether it is fastly happened, whether quickly happened, or the slowly happened, or moderately the geographical phenomena has been taken place. So this is the how the terminology which will use to show the concept of the time. And the next thing is that the spatial interaction. So the concept of time, after concept of time we are having the space component. So scale, time we have completed. The third part is the space component. What do you mean by space? The space itself has the, see, whenever the geographical phenomena will take place or the geographical event will take place, where does it place? Where does it happen? Some place of location or some place it will happen, isn't it? To say the location with respect to some reference, then we will use this space component. For example, everything happens on the world has a time and occurs at a location that occupies. That means space depicts the locational aspects of the geographical event, describing the place and extent of the occurrence of the reference to a specific location, such as the prime meridian or the equator or mean sea level. Something has taken place, so it is some 600 meters mean sea level we will reference. We will give the reference like this, isn't it? So that is to be called as a space component. Thus, altogether these three concepts, scale, time as well as the space components, will be fundamental concepts which we have learned in the human geography. Next, another two components are there, like spatial. These three components, whatever just now I have said you, the space, the scale and the time, these three components will make you understand very easily with the help of the spatial interaction. What do you mean by spatial interactions? The spatial interaction is nothing but the relationship between human as well as the surrounding. Spatially you are interacting with the things with the help of three things. One is complementarity, transferability and the human or intervening opportunity. What do you mean by complementarity? See, in the universe every human being is interdependent, interrelated with each other. In the same way every space is interdependent or interconnected with each other, isn't it? Based on the if A space is needs something, B space will provide. If B space is needs something, A space will provide. That's how the complementarity will be there within the space. So that's how that will be learned. That is a part of the spatial interaction. The second one is the transferability. If A demands something, then only B supplies. If the B demands something, then only A supply. So based on the supply and the demand, goods and movable property will be transferred from one place to another place. That's how the basic things like complementarity, transferability and the intervening opportunities will be studied in the spatial interaction with the help of these three components. And other component is that spatial distribution. The thing is that spatially we will read the fundamental element of human geography is which is essential to explain the what is, where and what quantity have distributed spatially, and that distribution how varies from space to place. So these all characteristics we are going to learn in the spatial distribution. So let us see the when we are spatially distributing the things, when we are learning spatial distribution, there, as I said, the fundamental concept of the human geography is interrelationship between man and environment. So this is the human environment relationships are crucial in understanding human geography, focusing on the influences of humans on their physical environment. So let me tell you, whenever the man and environment component is there, let us see the components of the environment first. So when we are going for the environment, broadly the components of the environment has been divided into abiotic and the biotic components. So the name itself has a meaning, biotic components, that means living beings or the like animal kingdom or the plant kingdom or the human resources will come under the biotic components, wherein abiotic components which are surrounded by these biotic components like temperature, water, light, these all will come under the abiotic components. So thus we can say that there is a relationship between biotic as well as the abiotic components in the components of the environment. So that's how the when the components of the environment are there, there are the two types of environments are there. One is the natural and another is the anthropogeny. In the natural environment, without, that means nature itself will alter itself without any human intervention. That means without impact, without inculcation or without intervention of the human beings, nature itself is the alters. So that is to be called as the natural environment. Then what is the anthropogeny? Anthropogeny is the activities which are performed by the human activities which will alter the natural environment by the intervention of the human beings, which is termed as the anthropogeny environment. So, however, in spite of conscious and the careful efforts, cultural environment always be detrimental impacts on the nature one. So, it is now very important to know that the human interference with the environment, as I said, the human civilization has been started with the naturalization of the humans. Within passage of time, it has become the humanization of the nature. When the humanization of the nature has been taken place, human interference has been involved. Whenever the human has interfered in the environment, obviously there will be the impact of man on the environment in terms of direct impacts as well as the indirect impacts. Then what are those direct impacts? Like land use changes, as I said you, when the population is increasing, to accommodate the increased population, we have to convert the agriculture land, we have to convert the forest land to accommodate the increased population, isn't it? That means there is a change in the land use land uses, that is deforestation, agriculture, commercial logging, everything will be changed, which is will come under the direct impact. And the construction and the extraction, when your population is increasing, automatically the built up area will increase. When the built up area is increasing, we have to provide the n number of resources, either in terms of water or something like that, isn't it? If you want to provide water resources, we have to build the canal and the roads and the bridge, and the urbanization will take place. These all will come under the direct impacts. And the weather modification and the nuclear program, these all will come under the direct impact on the environment with the human interference on the environment. Then I said the another impact is the indirect impacts. What are the indirect impacts? For example, to create the employment, or to create the employment, what you will do? You will establish the industries. When the industries will be established, automatically the pollution which has been released by the industries will be mixed with the atmosphere. That means it will automatically deteriorate the environment. First point. The second point is that when you want to fulfill the needs of the increased population in terms of providing food, what will you do? You will use the pesticides in the agriculture. When you are using pesticides to agriculture, though the production is more for the temporary, but one long term, what is happening? Whatever the toxicants are there, insecticides are there, DDT like, they are mixed up with the water, and water is getting polluted, and the economic activities, they are imbalancing the food chain system, which is mainly dependent, isn't it? So everything which is being impacted by the man indirectly, those will come under the indirect impact. So human activities have drastically altered the ecosystem, often leading to long term and remember that irreversible environmental damage. Though sustainable practices are to damage has been taken place due to the indirect impact of the indirect impact, and which can be to some extent we can mitigate with the help of the sustainable practices, or which are crucial to mitigate this impact, either direct impacts or the indirect impacts. So let us these whatever the impact of man and environment today we have discussed, and we have discussed about the direct impacts as well as the indirect impacts. This is very crucial subject or crucial topics to know the direct and the indirect impacts. And the further, though the government is initiated n number of steps to achieve the sustainability in food production and many of them, there is our role is also there to minimize the or to utilize the optimum utilization of the resources, or by using the 3R policy or something like that. That's how the human geography will plays an important role or the significant role in understanding man and environmental relationship. That's how the human will are creating socio-cultural environment by using the resources which are there on the physical environment. So that's how, my dear students, today the class is the importance of the human geography as well as the major themes of the human geography.